Happy Friday, Canopy Growth traders and investors. It's Rod with POW Group, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. It might not be Happy Friday after I break this news to you. Today is August 15th, and we got the news today that Canopy Growth is seeking another reverse split proposal, share consolidation. And this was flying under the radar for most of the day today. I did see the original article, but I didn't drill down into the proxy details. So we're going to take a look at all of this and more. I mentioned that this was very possible that they join the likes of Aurora, ACB, and potentially do a second reverse split. Everybody was talking about how bullish they are on Aurora, and when I talked to them about a name like Tilray, they say, oh, I'm selling Tilray to buy Aurora because Tilray is going to do a reverse split. But they didn't even know that Aurora has already done 2 reverse splits, and Canopy Growth actually has already done a 1-for-10, and it's on the way to do a potential second one. So we're going to discuss this news, and this comes after Tilray actually said that they're seeking an extension, and they closed above $1 for the 3rd day in a row today, trying to avoid having to do a reverse split. It's still possible, and it wouldn't be the end of the world, but when you're getting into the second reverse split, the third one, then you're starting to really open up a can of worms. So we're gonna discuss all of this information. As always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. If you're new, you can subscribe, take the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. And follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Full disclosure, I do own a tiny bit of Canopy in my portfolio. It's not a massive position, only about 5% of my overall portfolio. But this was the article that came out today. Canopy Growth announces mailing and filing of Proxy Materials for their AGM, so annual general and special meeting, and urges all shareholders to vote now. So they did recommend that, the board recommends that everybody vote in favor of, so for all of the proposals. So the meeting and shareholders will be asked to vote on 4 items: the election of directors, the reappointment of PKF O'Connor Davies LLP as the company's auditor, a share consolidation, also known as a reverse stock split proposal, and advisory non-binding vote on the company's approach for executive compensation, which we know that's always been under scrutiny. But yeah, we were talking about this in the POW Group private community, and shout out to, who was it that brought it up? It was Jeremy, I believe. Yeah, Jeremy. So thanks for bringing this to our attention. Like I said, it was flying under the radar for the most part today. I didn't see a single person mention it. But if you just go here and you click on the Canopy Growth Investors Events, this link here, it'll bring it up, and then you can hit the proxy statement, and then that'll bring this up. So you can see here 2025 proxy statement to be held on Friday, September 26, 2025. So next month, a little over a month away. So if we scroll down, share consolidation proposal, they recommend that you vote for on each of them. But we're going to scroll down. So it says here page number 93. So we're going to scroll all the way down, and we're going to get to page number 93. And you're going to see proposal number 3, share consolidation proposal. So what they're going to do is they're recommending a range for every 5 to 15. So that's the range. Let me scroll down here. So the article, Canopy Growth will be amended to provide that the authorized capital of the company is altered by consolidating all of its issued and outstanding common shares of the company and exchangeable shares of the company, as we know with the CUSA novel structure, on the basis of a ratio to be determined by the board in its sole discretion within a range of 1 post-consolidation share for every 5 to 15. So they're seeking a range from 5 to 15. We know Tilray just did one from a 1 to 10 or a 1 to 20. This is going to be from a 5 to 15. And they're recommending that you vote in favor of. So here it talks about doing it a 1-for-5 consolidation and then a 1-for-15. And again, if you take a look at ACB, they actually did a 1-for-10 reverse split on February 20th of last year, 2024, and they did another one, a 1-for-12 on May 11th, 2020. And if we take a look at CDC, they did a 1-for-10 reverse split on December 20th, 2023, and they're looking to follow in the footsteps of ACB and do a second one, which, like I said, could be a 1-for-5, 1-for-15. We'll see how it happens. If it happens, but there's a good chance that it does. And yeah, we sold off heavily today, and that makes a lot more sense now that I now that I read the proxy statement and drilled into that article. But from the high of Tuesday, the stock was down 28%. So not a great look, closing near the low. We could easily head back down. Like, this is just a terrible like timing. I don't know why you would ever release that today after the stock was almost at $2. Like, obviously there's some benefits to doing a share consolidation and a reverse split. Tilray mentioned it as well. Like, if you have a bunch of outstanding shares, it can save you about $1 million just cutting it down from like, a crazy amount of shares. It's more attractive to institutional investors. So institutional investors usually can't invest if it's under $5. So that might be something. And they're also maybe just thinking in the case that, it's going to take a few weeks for rescheduling to get back under $1, and they're just looking for some cushion, I guess. And then obviously it maintains their listing with the NASDAQ, and they don't have to worry about being under $1. And then there's also the perception with it being under $1 or near $1, right? If you're at $1 or under $1, the perception of the company is that they're struggling and they're not financially sound, which in this case, it's it's not just perception. Canopy Growth is not financially sound. They have a lot of debt. They've been paying down debt, extending their maturity on some of their debt. But the fact of the matter is they still have a lot of debt, and it's going to be at least 2027, 2028 before we start to see any major profitability metrics being reached for the company, in my opinion. But there's a reason why Canopy Growth is only a few percent in my entire portfolio. I do think that it'll probably be okay long term, and I really like the CUSA assets, right? Like specifically the WANA. Not a huge fan of acreage, and just look how they did acreage shareholders dirty with that takeover, right? And with that merger, the shareholders were left with absolutely nothing. But with that being said, they got backing of Constellation Brands, so I do think that the most likely scenario is that with those deep pockets, they're probably, at the expense of existing shareholders, are just going to completely dilute and destroy all wealth that was created, and it's just a complete wealth destruction that we're seeing here. But not a good look whatsoever. I don't know why they would do this. The timing just seems really odd to me, especially with rescheduling on the horizon. I would have, they didn't even get a NASDAQ warning. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this in the comments section. I bet you I'm going to probably make a few people fall off their chair whenever they see just the thumbnail. And then, like I said, whenever they find out that it's actually, it's just a proposal, so it's not official. But wow, that's a bombshell. I did not expect that at all, and just piss poor timing overall. I don't know why they'd be doing this, but it is what it is, I guess. Again, it's not even 100% confirmed, so we just have to take it with a grain of salt for now. But not a good look, no matter how you slice it. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. We'll continue the conversation in the comment section below. It's Rod with POW Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you on the next one.